Yesterday's game was a seesaw back and forth competitive game between the Wolverines and the Wisconsin Badgers. Tied game, lead change. 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 That's all you saw out there in that game between the Badgers and the Wolverines. Two of these teams were competing at a higher level yesterday, and the score was only like 50s. But it felt like it was 80s because the way these guys were really competing out there and bringing their all at each other was just, great to watch and great to see for a basketball fan like myself and many other basketball fans around the world who watch college hoops. Now, the referees, they're not like NBA referees. They're not going to call BS calls just to make calls, be confusing and controversial. They're not going to do that. They're going to make the right calls at the right time. Like I said in my last video, making rants about professional referees. These college referees, they understand the game of basketball. They understand that this is young youth players that's trying to make a way and product and be better players for the game of basketball and, showcase that they have that thrill and that will to win. So you got to love what you got to watch from, you got to love what you see. In other words, you got to love what you got to see from the referees to the talent that's on the floor playing and to the coaches that's, developing these players every single step of the way. And, starting with the Michigan Wolverines, this is a team that bounced back from 8-24 last season and never was in the Final Four, never was in, the thought of being in the, tournament at all. Because this is the tourney. This is where you go all the way to the Final Four. This is where you compete for the Elite Eight, where you compete for the Sweet 16, where you compete to see, the best of the best from every single conference there is. Whether if you're going to make it to the second round, whether if you're going to make it to the first round, yada, yada, yada. You get the point. College basketball is fun to watch, and it's not fun to watch without the Wolverines. So the Wolverines, they became 25-9. They're third in the Big Ten Conference. They should be third in this tournament, period, because it's a slap in the face that they got the 5th seed. And, it is what it is. These guys are ready to play. They got another game on Thursday. So Trey Donaldson even said it. These guys just stayed the course. They competed the whole way through. They understand it was a back-and-forth game between the Badgers and them, and they understood what's at stake. You win this game, you get a better seed. And if you don't win this game, you probably will get a different other seed than, the 5th seed. But, it's whatever with them. It's whatever with the coaches. It's whatever with the players, because they want to win a championship. They want to be national champions when it's all said and done. Everyone's putting their eyes on the Duke Blue Devils and Cooper Flagg and wondering if Cooper Flagg should play. I think he should sit out due to the injury that he had. But Duke, they're really good all across the board. And then you got St. John's University with Rick Pitino. They're looking good. They're looking great, and they're gonna play good, and they're gonna look good. And they're gonna look good with a guy who's been around the college game for so long, and he understands the ins and outs of defense, offense, hustle, steals, rebounds, altering shots, and block shots. That's what he understands. He understands how to put players in position to score at will or get a stop at will. That's the guy that is highly, smart with his basketball IQ. And, I definitely have a lot of respect for Rick Pitino. And I have a lot of respect for, Coach Dusty May and Coach John Shire and all these guys, because they understand that when you get into this tournament, you got to go hard. You gotta go hard and give it all you got. It's not a 7-game series. It's not a 5-game series. It's not a 4-game series. It's a win or go home, type of thing right here when you're in, the college atmosphere and the college basketball tournament. So I'm very proud of the boys for working hard. I'm very proud of the boys for getting the job done. And, hats off to the Badgers for, bringing their best and, competing the whole way through and never quitting, because off the last 3 possessions in the second half, they, gave 3 turnovers. They literally had a turnover from Blackwell, Crow, and, hold on for a minute. I don't want to, get off the loop, you know. And by the way, big shout out to everybody who's celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day from me to you. And I haven't got down to my brackets yet. You know, I haven't got a chance to, you know, speak about my brackets and who I should pick going to the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 or the Final 4 or the National Championship game from, you know, a different aspect. But you know what it is. I got to make my picks in bracketology. So, we'll see where that goes. And hopefully you guys made your picks too. Hopefully you have as well. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Max Klesmith, John Blackwell, I think they had a turnover from Stephen Crow, John Blackwell, and Gilmore. Gilmore, Blackwell, and Crow, they made their mistakes by, you know, turning over the ball in the last couple possessions of that game against us. But, you know, overall, only one had to win. 59-53. When you look back at the stats, you know, we went 19 for 60, 31% from field goal, 9 for 33, 27% from the three-point, you know, 12 for 13 from free throws, 92%, you know, 43 total rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds, 34 defensive rebounds, 14 assists, 2 blocks, you know, 3 steals, 8 turnovers, which I don't like turnovers at all. I hate turnovers. I want less turnovers, like 1 or 2, and that's not going to satisfy, it's not going to satisfy any single coach if you don't, you know, if you don't get, you know, limited turnovers or whatnot. You don't want to sit back and say to yourself, okay, hey, we done got 1 or 2 turnovers. That's good. But if we limit ourselves over 2 or 1, then yeah, that's a problem to us. We don't like turnovers. So you got to, you know, be patient with the ball movement and, you know, be good at carrying onto the ball and holding onto the ball so that way you don't have to turn over the ball. And yeah, it's not football, but you got to see it from the aspect of no turnovers. You get turnovers, it's a problem. It's going to be a long day for you. We had 16 fouls. Trey Donaldson had like 4 fouls, and he was in foul trouble, but scored 11 and had 8 assists in that game. You know, 15 for 69 from the field goal for the Badgers, 21% from the field goal department, 17% from the three-point, which they had like 7 for 40 with three-pointers, 16 for 18 with free throws, 88%, 55 total rebounds, 22 offensive rebounds, 33 defensive rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 6 turnovers. They had lesser than we did, but you already know what it is at that point. 14 fouls personal. Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indiana, home of the Indiana Pacers, where, you know, Tyrese Halliburton is still talking his smack and saying he wants the Detroit Pistons in the playoffs. Hey, look, buddy, we want you too. We want you too. So make sure you back up the smack talk, all right? And I hope you see this video. But yeah, going to Michigan, player stats. Trey Donaldson, as mentioned, 11 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. Big Vlad, 11 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. Neymar Burnett, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 8 points. Daniel Wolf, he had 8 rebounds, 8 points, 1 assist, and he was clutch down the stretch, man. Clutch. Just very, very clutch when he tied it in the game and got Michigan back in the game with some scoring at will. Reuben Jones, 5 points, 0 assists, 3 rebounds. Will Cheshner, he has 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 6 points. LJ Kaysen, 8 points, 5 rebounds. And Roddy Gale Jr., 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 points. Wisconsin Badgers, to be exact. John Blackwell had 18 points, 0 assists, 5 rebounds. JT, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 points. Max Klesmith, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 points. Stephen Crow, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 points. 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 points from Nolan Winter. Carter Gilmore had 3 and 3, no assists. Kamari McGee, 2 points, no assists, 5 rebounds. Xavier Amos, he had 5 rebounds. Jack Janicki had 1 rebound in this game. So overall, this was a very competitive game, seesaw back and forth game, as you know. But hey, only one could prevail, and it was the Michigan Wolverines. So hail to the victors, baby. We moving on. And I'm gonna get down to bracketology. You guys should get down to bracketology. And as I turn around, JB Bickerstaff got fined, and he had every right to speak his mind about the fact that his players and the way they got treated in this game. 5 technicals in a third quarter? 5 technicals in a third quarter. You know, that's a joke. That is a complete joke. The officiating in the professional level of the NBA is just gone down diddly poo. I already told you how I felt about it. I don't want to go down memory lane by telling you how I feel about it. But the one thing I want the NBA to change is change the officiating. Change it. Stop the flopping. Stop the BSing. Stop that. Because it's making things hard for fans that love the NBA want to watch. It just sucks. It sucks for the fans. It sucks for the game. It sucks for the players. And as I turn around and I look, I'm watching First Take. I'm a huge fan of First Take. Shout out Shannon Sharp. Shout out to Perk. Shout out to Stephen A. Shout out to Molly Quirm. Shout out to the whole ESPN. But yeah, I'm a big fan of First Take, and I'm definitely talking about it right about now. Later on, I'm thinking about talking about the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Might as well just say it now. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they got paid. Hell, if money grew on trees, we'd all be paid. We'd all be rich like those guys. So the Bengals, they're having a hard time, so they're not going to pay their defense. Now Trey Hendrickson is definitely out the door. But it is what it is. At the meantime, between time, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm Chicken Nugget King 313. I'm at 305 subscribers. Tell a sports fan to tell a sports fan to come join the journey. Tell a Lions fan to tell a Lions fan to come join the journey. And holla back at your boy, Chicken Nugget King. I'm out.